welcome back to the NutriMedical Report. I want to continue a couple of these because I think they're very instructive, and I won't read all the numbers of the pages, but I'm going to post up the links. The U.S. government has not had a treasury since 1921. The IMF is an agency of the United Nations. The U.S. Treasury is now the IMF. The United States does not have any employees because it is no longer a United States. The FCC, CIA, FBI, NSA, these other lettered agencies, basically, are all alphabet agencies. Were never part of the United States government. Social Security numbers are issued by the UN through the IMF. There is no judicial courts in America. They are all been abolished since 1789. There are administrative courts, which is what we know they are. There have been no judges in America since 1789. They have been administrators. According to the GATT, you have to have a Social Security number. We have a one world government, one world law, one world monetary system. That's why we have the International Court of Criminal Justice in The Hague. The United Nations is one world super government. Of course, the name's been changed. No one on this planet has ever been free. The planet is a slave colony. And of course, they changed the name in 1945 to the United Nations. New York City is defined in the federal regulations as the United Nations. And of course, Rudy Giuliani stated on C-SPAN that New York City is the capital of the world, which it is. Social Security is not insurance or a contract, nor is there a trust fund. There isn't. People didn't know there's no money there. You put money in, but it's not there.
No, there hasn't been any money there since before Clinton, I think.
Your Social Security check comes directly from the IMF, which is an agency of the UN. You own no property. Slaves can't own property. People don't realize that. That's why they don't have title absolute to the land with mineral rights below it. Natives, by the way, can. Sometimes they have title absolute because they have contracted with these other invading agencies that are brought in here. The Revolutionary War was a fraud. We know that. The King of England financially backed both sides of the Revolutionary War. Let's see. America is a British colony. That's quite evident. People should realize that. Britain is owned by the Vatican, Treaty of 1213. The Pope can abolish any law in the United States, elements of Ecclesiastical Law, Volume 1, page 53 to 54. The 1040 form is a tribute paid to Britain, IRS publication 6209. The Pope claims to own the entire planet through the laws of conquest and of discovery, Papal Bulls 1455 and 1493. The Pope's laws are obligatory on everyone. Benedict XIV, DC, Deosimin, and of course, I put all the numbers in here. People don't realize we are slaves and own absolutely nothing, but not even what we think are our children. Of course, which is why states like California want to have what's called the right of state parentis, which basically means they're the parent. They can tell us that we're not treating our children properly by not force vaccinating. Military dictator George Washington divided the states into districts. The people do not include you and I. The people, by the way, includes the states. We are not part of, quote, the people. The United States government was not founded upon Christianity. It was founded upon Masonry. And that's the Treaty of Tripoli, 8 Statute 154. It is not the duty of the police to protect you. Their job is to protect the corporation and arrest code breakers. Interesting, eh? Everything in the United States is for sale. Roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, waters, prisons, airports, etc. And, quote, we are human capital, and that's Executive Order 13037. By the way, people don't realize your birth certificate is traded as by Seed Corporation in the District of Criminals, I call it DC, to leverage the so-called reserve, which is basically the IMF Federal Reserve, which is not a U.S. corporation. The United Nations has financed operations of the United States government for over 50 years and now owns every man, woman, and child in America. The good news is we don't have
I got news for them. They don't own me.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, they say they do. See, they'll say all these things. And, of course, God doesn't agree with them, but this is what they think to themselves. The good news is we don't have to fulfill our fictitious obligations. You can discharge a fictitious obligation with another's fictitious obligation. And the Depression and World War II were a farce. Of course, you can read the whole documents there. The United States did not declare independence from Great Britain or King George. Number 40, the etymology of government means to control the mind. From Latin, means gubernatio, means management, government. Ancient Greek, kybernesis, steering or pilotage or guiding of the mind, the drive. So that's just a few things. What problem is that the NutriMedical Report, Clay and Iron Show, is what I call reality zone, and your blog is amazing. We talk about things and people say, that can't be, or it's our opinion. It's not. We're quoting page numbers of actual documents. So it's not open to anybody's opinion. It's in one of those thing I call an is, in quotes thing. It's an is thing. And when you realize these things that we've been saying, bankruptcy reorganization since 1933, where they've gradually replaced real courts of law with administrative courts, when we literally have world government, they just haven't declared the mark of the beast yet. But the events that are happening in Greece are designed to implode the world economy. So when they do, they're going to get rid of real cash in your pocket and have electronic dividends in a supercomputer. People don't realize the matrix is here. It has not been declared yet.
This is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is July 16th, 2015. Here are your news updates for today. Let's go into E&E News, Energy News, Japan, Fukushima. TV, nuclear waste overflowing into Pacific Ocean at Fukushima. Officials, impossible to stop the spill anytime soon. Torrential rain from approaching typhoon, already too much for plant to handle. Yesterday, Yahoo News. Mutated plants near Fukushima gain internet fame. Pics show centers fused together, petals growing out of sides, ring-shaped flower with 4 stems. U.S. government expert. Plant abnormalities can be induced after only 24 hours of exposure to radioactive fallout. On the 13th of July, document shows nuclear fuel burned through bottom of containment vessel under Fukushima reactor. Official, leakage we observed indicates melt through by shell attack. This is a very big problem. Fuel debris in the PCV is doing something bad. Whoa, heads up on that one. Alrighty then. I attached some videos. Please go to my recent uploads. You'll see the RT nuclear news, and you should listen to what they say. Very important. It seems like everything has frozen on my computer though. There we go. Oh, got all blurry for a second. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Let's still respond. The Watchers watching the world. Severe weather across southern Brazil leaves 3 people dead, over 30,000 affected today. Also today, heat wave in Japan leaves 5 people dead, 3,200 hospitalized. Yesterday, record rainfall. Freak storm dumps 102 millimeters of rain in 1 hour in Norway. Heads up. California theory and Jade Helm. Let's add those together. Watching Fox News report. I'd like to thank Lois in Florida, Central Florida. Thank you for bringing it to my attention about all this going on with the faults up there in the Pacific Northwest. Let me give you a theory on that in Jade Helm. Does that somehow interlink? Well, I know from being through quite a few earthquakes and growing up in Southern California that whenever there's a possible earthquake threat or aftershocks, the fire departments, the police departments, they all park outside the buildings to make sure that, you know, the buildings don't collapse. onto the vehicles. I'm wondering, because of this potential hazard that will happen, the 9.0 or greater in the Pacific Northwest, that all these the military equipment, let's look where they're stationed. All these military drills. Now, if I was in charge of all that, like the AI is, and knew that there was a possible devastation coming to the Pacific Northwest, I would pull I would pull out all the military equipment I can from that area and distribute it all across the country, but also then turning around and facing the North Pacific, and gearing up with all the FEMA trucks and everything else, gearing up, getting ready to go, positioning myself, you know, the military, or not in that area, as far away from that area as possible, but then be on the ready for when this Wanda Fuka ridge, when it decides to go. Now it's warping the islands up there, Vancouver Islands, because it's locked. Now we've heard it was locked, so they know. This way they're not responsible, because basically everyone now has been warned. So I think this is like a strategy, so that all the equipment doesn't get devastated. They pulled it all out, shipped it all out. FEMA's all ready, up ready to go, even though they're all across the country. If and when this quake goes, and it's a 9.2, we're going to feel it across the whole country. There's going to be all types of different devastations from this, and also from the aftershocks, and of course it most likely, in my opinion, would trigger the San Andreas fault and other fault lines. There'll be a ripple effect all across the country. So I believe that, it's just my opinion, that in the light of, now we're in the middle of HIGHL, and I mean, it's just started 2 days ago. Now they're coming out with all this devastating earthquake is predicted, will happen in the Pacific Northwest. So they have pulled all their military equipment out, strategically put it throughout wherever, and now they're about face, and they're watching and waiting. This thing most likely will go, I believe, during the HIGHL drills. And see, and then it goes live. That's just a theory of mine, because that's what they would do, like on a smaller level with the fire trucks and everything else. Well, also in light of this California / the whole northwest coast, I would believe now, after listening to Shepard Smith, that I guess the property values are going to go down now too. I don't know, what do you think? Yeah. Property values will go down, and probably be hard to get earthquake insurance now. And tsunami insurance. Wow. Alrighty then. Watch the recent uploads. Be prepared for anything, please. If there's a way that you don't have to be there, that would be a better idea than to think, wow, it's overdue. take my chances with my pets, my family, my friends. Yeah. I don't think that's the right thing to do. As soon as they were putting up the tsunami signs, this is a tsunami hazard area with a big wave and like a little man. It says head for high ground and in lieu of a tsunami. I'm looking around. There is no high ground to go to. Sitting on my boat going, I better start looking to get out of here. I heard the call. Get out now. My boat wouldn't, my per sailboat wouldn't have went fast enough to get over, just like in that movie San Andreas where they all climbed the tsunami. My boat wouldn't have made it. It would have been one of the ones flipping over, and my poor little sailboat. Alrighty then, so heads up, be prepared for anything. Especially you in the Pacific Northwest. Hello, wake up. Time to go. It's my opinion. Alrighty then. Take care. Please watch all those videos that I uploaded. Alright, thank you. And have a great day. And be prepared. Alrighty then. What the fuck?